Hi everyone. Thank you for joining me on my webinar today. I will be covering Learn About Now Assist for ITOM. And just to introduce myself, my name is Victoria Lowe, and I am one of the outbound product managers for ITOM, and I specifically focus on AI ops. So today I will be presenting to you, and I have Jason Smith also on the call today to help support the webinar through Q&A. So if you have any questions, just to ensure that they get answered, or at least we can keep track of them, if you could please put them in the Q&A section of the Zoom webinar, we would really appreciate it. So let's get started. So first off, I want to put in a safe harbor notice for any forward-looking statements I may have, because I may slip up and mention some things that are more forward-looking than I should. And again, if I do happen to say something that's a bit more forward-looking, they're still based off of what I know best at this moment, and anything that I can say may come in the future, still may change. So please just keep that in mind throughout this presentation. And in the case where you like joining these webinars and you're interested in joining future webinars, like the Learn About What's New in ITOM AI Ops or What's New in ITOM Visibility for the Xanadu Q3 releases, you can scan this QR code right here or access the same page through this link that I'm posting in the chat right now, so that you can see all the other webinars that are available for ITOM, as well as the other product areas as well. And some general housekeeping before I get started with the actual presentation is that we've saved time at the end, as in I have saved time in the end for Q&A. But otherwise, if we do have time throughout the presentation, I will be looking at the Q&A section as well to try to answer any questions on the fly that would relate to what I'm showing in the moment. As well as this presentation will be recorded and shared online on the ServiceNow community YouTube page. And there'll also be a post-event survey after this webinar, so if you could please fill that out, we would really appreciate it as well. Now for the agenda today, I will be covering what is Now Assist in general. Then I will be going more into depth about what is Now Assist for ITOM and the current capabilities as of the August store release, which just happened a week ago. And I will show you a demo of our current capabilities of alert analysis. And what's next? Well, that's pretty mysterious, and you'll have to stick to the end to learn more. Then I'll also be providing some resources to learn more, including some blogs, some articles, and some documentation that you could look at if you're interested in learning more. And then, like I said, there's time at the end for Q&A. So please put your questions in the Q&A module in Zoom. Otherwise, we will wait till the end to answer them, either live or through the chat. So for any of you who may not know yet, and hopefully you do already know, but in case you don't, what is Now Assist? So Now Assist is how ServiceNow infuses AI into every corner of your business across IT, which includes ITOM, HR, customer, and app delivery and automation to help maximize productivity and creativity across developers and admins, operators, analysts, and business owners, and most importantly, your customers and employees. And these capabilities are already available to you today. And I will be talking today specifically about the ITOM capabilities for Now Assist, obviously. And now we understand that building your own Gen AI capabilities can be costly and intensive before having the outcomes that you even want. But ServiceNow is building Gen AI into our own platform and products to help you realize value faster for Gen AI. And with Now Assist for ServiceNow, you can get your own specific package, configure it, and deploy your desired capabilities as needed. This makes it so much easier for you to get to value quicker with AI in days or weeks instead of months or years. And AI, as you know, is only as good as the platform it's built on, which is why ServiceNow's approach to AI starts with our platform that many of you are already familiar with. Now, here are some resources also if you'd like to learn a bit more about Now Assist in general, and I will put them in the chat again. So that was just a quick overview on what Now Assist is if you weren't already aware. But now I will go into more about what Now Assist for ITOM is looking like in Q3 of 2024. So our first capability for analysis for ITOM is alert analysis. It is our way of helping operators understand alerts faster with the help of generative AI using the Now LLM service, where we provide a briefing of the alert itself, as well as a further analysis of the alert, making rather hard to understand alert descriptions easier to understand through the briefing, through a bullet pointed summary of what exactly is happening in the alert, and then a further analysis of the alert, providing you probable root cause information, as well as potential remediation actions that you can take in order to fix the issue that's being raised. And we are not only including this as part of the operator experience, but we're also extending it beyond the alert, making it available for any incidents that are open directly from alerts, so that the alert analysis that has been triggered can be shown in both the alert form itself and incident form itself. And we even further provide even more information for alert groups, where we're not only looking at the individual alert at hand, but also analyzing each of the individual alerts that have been grouped as part of the alert group itself. And I'll talk a bit more about that in my slides coming up. And if you're curious about the timeline for analysis for ITOM, specifically looking at the AIOps capabilities, we currently have, we're currently at Q3 right over here. But prior to this, we first released and went GA with alert analysis in Q1 of 2024, where we first looked at summarizing the individual alerts themselves, as well as providing the analysis that I mentioned already. And in Q2 of our release schedule, so back in June, we then released the enhancement for alert group simplification. So then we were able to provide even further analysis, taking into account all the individual alerts within an alert group, making it easier for you to understand the impact of an alert group without manually having to analyze each and every single one of those alerts that have been grouped, whether it's 2 alerts, 3 alerts, maybe even like 10 alerts. That could be a lot for you to do and drive up the time to mean time to resolution, which is not ideal. And then most recently, just about a week ago on August 1st, we came out with our Q3 store release of alert analysis, which supports the alert analysis information on the incident forms themselves. So it reduces the switching between the two forms, making it a lot easier for users to get the power of alert analysis while still using incident forms if that's what they are using. And going more into depth about each of these features, we can see here that in this alert analysis, in our Q1 version of this, is that we're focused on just empowering the operators, making it easier for them to deal with issues on their own and not making them so dependent, whether they're less experienced or maybe just new to the team, on other people on their team in order for them to acquire the knowledge that a subject matter expert would otherwise have. But now they have that knowledge at their fingertips through alert analysis, making it easier for them to learn while on the job, while other users and their other teammates can stay focused on their own responsibilities. And as a result, everyone's happy. And you can also resolve issues a lot faster with all this information, whether you are experienced or maybe you are less experienced as well, because sometimes there could be a new alert that an experienced operator has never seen. And alert analysis could be something that could come in very handy for them in those situations, not requiring them to go to Google, for example, or some other search engine to try troubleshooting on the fly and going on maybe an endless search of figuring out what the issue may be, because it may be new to them. And then in the Q2 release, we can see now that the alert analysis has gotten a lot bigger between these two slides. And that is because for the alert analysis of alert groups, we're taking all the contextual information of all the alerts in a group, as well as sending any other relevant information as to why the groups were grouped together, whether it's CMDB, tag-based, or HLA-based alert groups, as well as the relevant CI information of each of those individual alerts, as well as impacted services, probable root cause information, as well as the individual alert descriptions of each of those alerts in that group. And we're sending all of this information to our LLM so that it can understand all the contextual information of the order of which these alerts were opened together and what that could signify as a result of those alerts being open in that specific order, as well as greater contextual impact on what has been impacted as a result of this alert group. And then in the analysis itself, we still provide probable root cause, but powered by the greater contextual knowledge of the CMDB through the CIs and impacted services, providing you a more robust analysis of the alert group, as opposed to trying to analyze each of the individual alerts in this group and trying to put it all together yourself. This provides you a lot more information in just a click of a button versus having to take a lot more time to analyze all these individual alerts, which could otherwise drive more impact to your business with a longer outage or longer downtime, which is what you ultimately do not want. And in the Q3 store release that's just come out in August 1st, we started supporting alert analysis information to be available on the incident forms as well, where you can not only have an incident open directly from an alert with Now Assist automatically triggered, you're also able to trigger an alert analysis prior and then open an incident later and still have that same information populated in the incident from the alert itself with the alert analysis. So whether you work from alerts or you work from incidents or you work with both, we are reducing the clicks between the two forms to improve the operator experience in another way where you can easily access all the information from alert analysis without having to go back to the alert form itself or go back to ExpressList to gather all the information at hand. And this can also be configured in the alert management rules itself. I'll be showing that to you in the demo. But out of the box, when you have alert analysis through Now Assist for ITOM, this is automatically active as an alert rule. Now I'll be going over the general facts of alert analysis that are true as of Q3 of 2024. So these are very subject to change over time, but this is what's most up to date right now. So as of today, alert analysis is supported only in English for the alert analysis generation. As for data security, the exchanges of data are encrypted and any data in transit is protected with TLS 1.2. And the input and output data is not cached or stored on the regional data center. The data is used for training the Now LLM service with personally identifying information stripped prior to the training using that data, but this can also be opted out of. And Now Assist for ITOM as a feature itself is available through the store app, Now Assist for IT Operations Management, but you must be properly licensed for this before you can install it from the store. And for technical information, the LLM needed for Now Assist for ITOM is provided by the ServiceNow LLM service. So you do not need to have your own LLM in order to use this capability. And for the newest version of Now Assist for ITOM, the requirements are currently Washington Patch 4 or Xanadu once it is released in September. But you can also see the requirements for earlier releases of Now Assist for ITOM in the store listing if you'd like to see that as well. Now, if you'd like to use Now Assist for ITOM, it's going to be available through the ITOM Pro Plus or Enterprise SKUs, Enterprise Plus SKUs, which requires the existing licensing for either ITOM Professional or ITOM Enterprise as well. And how do assists work? So I just want to give a quick overview on how assists work, specifically for analysis for ITOM as of today. So for alert analysis, each analysis consumes 1 assist per analysis. So in the case where you may be refreshing an alert analysis, which would generate a new alert analysis, sorry, I'm saying alert analysis a lot, that would consume another assist. So that is how the assists are relevant right now for analysis for ITOM with respect to alert analysis as of Q3 of 2024. So that's just some general information on the capabilities and the fact sheet for analysis for ITOM, specifically alert analysis, because that is the only capability available right now. And please put any questions again if you have them in the Q&A. But for now, I will move on to the demo portion of this webinar. Now we are in the Service Operations workspace because the Service Operations workspace is the only place that you can trigger alert analysis for alerts. Specifically, you can trigger alert analysis in Express Lists, which is a live alert list, by clicking any of the alerts and having the side panel open up and then clicking Analyze to analyze whatever alert that you'd like to analyze. Here we can see after I pressed Analyze, there is a briefing on the alert itself, as well as an analysis, providing more information as to the probable root cause of the alert, as well as future actions you can take in order to remediate or prevent this issue from happening again. And then in the case if you are already in an alert and you want to see more information in the alert record itself, you can also analyze the alert directly from within the alert form. See here we can see a briefing for the specific alert as well, and a further analysis of the alert. And so far I have only shown you the analysis of individual alerts, but for grouped alerts you can get a much more robust analysis because it not only considers the alert descriptions of all the alerts that have been grouped together, but it also considers all the impacted services, CIs, as well as contextual information on the alerts that have been grouped together, such as the timing of the alerts being opened as well. Now that I've pressed Analyze, you can see a very robust analysis of this alert group, and easily I can expand the side panel so that it's easier for me to read the summary as well as analysis. And here we can see a detailed summary considering all the information from all 6 of the alerts that have been grouped together, including what CIs have been impacted, in what way, the fact that some services are not running on the host, and examples of these services that aren't running, and the contextual information as to how all the alerts were triggered within a 5-minute span. And the analysis provides more information as to the probable root cause of all of these alerts being grouped together, then followed up by more information on the potential cause and the next steps to take in order to resolve the issue being raised by this entire alert group. And so this alert analysis of a group of alerts is extremely important because it allows you to more quickly understand the impact of the alert group without having to manually analyze each of the individual alerts to understand the impact of each single alert that has been grouped together. Now, in the case where you haven't yet analyzed a group, but you know that you want to create an incident directly from it, you can easily create an incident with Now Assist for ITOM by clicking this remediation action right here. So now I have the option to run the remediation action, and all I have to do is click run. And as a result of this, we can see that an incident will be opened from this alert with automatic alert analysis triggered for this incident. And so now you can see here in the incident form that the summary has been populated with an analysis generated by alert analysis, providing the information about a briefing of the alert and then the analysis in the description itself. Now, this information being available in both the alert form and incident form reduces switching between the two forms, streamlining the analysis process, whether you're working from an incident standpoint or an alert standpoint. And if you would like to activate or deactivate the ability to automatically trigger Now Assist for when opening an incident, you can do so in the alert management rules. And here we can see the new alert management rule that is created out of the box when you have Now Assist for ITOM, which will be active as default, but you can easily deactivate it by unchecking this box right here and clicking update. And that wraps up my demo of Now Assist for ITOM alert analysis. Now I'll be going back to my presentation. So thanks for watching that quick presentation. I also just realized that in case any of you may not be familiar with event management in general or how ServiceNow works with ITOM AIOps, I just also want to give a quick overview on the alert group simplification and go a bit more into depth about this topic. So for alert group simplification, alert groups are created through various methods, such as in this context, CMDB-based grouping, so relating CIs, tag-based grouping, so the alert tags that can be created in order to enrich alerts further with more information, and as well as HLA alert groups, which is alert grouping that can be created through correlation identified through health log analytics, which is available through ITOM AIOps Enterprise SKU. So the alerts that have been grouped together have been automatically grouped together through understanding the correlation between these, whether it may have been rules themselves or understanding the relationships between these alerts through the related CIs, or the rules that you could have created in order to automatically group together alerts that have similar tags, for example, as well. And using all this information, these groups were automatically created through event management, and these weren't manually done, so that I did not have to manually select all of these alerts themselves. And so as a result of this, and as a result of the grouping, it further reduces the noise in the express list, so that instead of seeing 5 alerts or even 43 alerts that are related, but you may not know it, they've all been automatically grouped together under a primary alert, so that you can easily understand the alerts and not be flooded with alerts that are all related to each other when they could have easily been correlated and grouped together to reduce that noise, providing a lot easier of experience for operators to analyze alerts in general. So that's just a quick overview on that. So in terms of the alert group simplification, using these alert groups, specifically CMDB-based alert groups, tag-based alert groups, or HLA-based alert groups, instead of having to analyze each of these individual alerts yourself, whether it's manually or triggering alert analysis for each of them, you can just use the primary alert that was created in order to group all the real alerts and run the alert analysis on that to get all the information generated from using all the information from the individual alerts that have been grouped together right here. So instead of having an alert analysis trigger for each one of these 5 in this case, we just had to trigger one, and it pooled all the information and sent it all to the LLM so that I could understand what is happening in the situation without wasting more of your time. And in terms of whether alert analysis is available in an incident, if it was not created from an alert, it would not be, because there would be no link between alerts themselves, which are part of ITOM, versus ITSM, which is what deals with incidents themselves, because these are 2 separate products. So it'd have to be created from the alert in order to get information from alert analysis, which can only be generated off alerts themselves. And in terms of what's next, so I showed you what has come out in Q1, Q2, and Q3 of 2024 so far. And you may be wondering, what are we going to be releasing next? What maybe we're releasing for some of our other product areas in ITOM for Now Assist. And while I cannot share those with you on this call because I cannot speak about roadmap at this time, we do speak about roadmap in our upcoming workshops that we have coming. So we have several workshops coming up very soon. One next week on August 15th in Denver in the US. And we have several workshops coming up in Europe, as well as one more in Canada in October. The date specifically is to be determined for that still, but I will provide the links right here for you to learn more about these workshops if you may want to register as a customer, or if you also want to sign up for the What's New webinar that we have coming up towards the end of the year. Actually, no, not towards the end of the year, in the later half of September, where we'll cover what's new not only in ITOM AIOps, but we'll also be covering what's new in other product areas like Visibility and Cloud Accelerate 2. You can easily sign up for those webinars as well. And we'll also be hosting this specific webinar again for times that are better suited to APAC. So if you want to share it with your team members who may be in the Asia region or any other region, Pacific region as well as we will also be hosting a session in Japanese in case you wanted to show this to any of your team members who may primarily speak Japanese, which would be very useful to them. So all that information is available here. And in terms of resources to learn more, I have written several blog articles explaining much of what I've talked about today in blog article format instead of listening to my voice. So I will be pasting all these resources for the product documentation, the FAQ for Now Assist for ITOM, getting started, how to set up Now Assist for ITOM, as well as the store listing for Now Assist for ITOM itself. But in the case where you are interested in learning more and getting more experience with Now Assist for ITOM as a customer, please speak to your account teams to learn more about that, because I unfortunately cannot do that on this call today, but here's somewhere where you can get started to learn more before you speak to your account teams if you want to go about it in that way. And in terms of content for today, that wraps up my presentation. Please feel free to stay on the call if you have any more questions. Otherwise, thank you for attending, and I hope you have a great day or night, wherever you may be.